Millions more people in the UK are to be invited to be inoculated against coronavirus as 10 more mass vaccination centres open across England. The programme is to be extended to cover over 70s, as well as another million more people classed as clinically extremely vulnerable. Professor Adam Finn is a member of the Joint Committee on Vaccination and Immunisation and says the programme could pick up pace over the coming weeks.
There are other vaccines very close now to coming through for approval, so by the time we get to the spring, we may indeed have a wider range of vaccines available. And there may be differences in the way they work that we can exploit and decide, how to use which one in which way. So it's gradually going to get broader and get faster.
The government's coming under increasing pressure to extend benefit increases provided at the start of the pandemic. People on universal credit and working tax credit have received an additional £20 a week, but that's due to end in April. Sydney from York says the uplift in universal credit has been invaluable to her.
Everything keeps going up. The cost of living goes up, the cost of food. The children are home during lockdowns and restrictions, so they eat more. So I didn't even notice that increase. Benefits have not gone up for such a long time. When we all know inflation goes up, tax goes up, and taking away that £20 uplift, I will notice.
A report into the death of the youngest victim of the Manchester Arena attack has found she might have survived if she'd received better first aid. The public inquiry into the attack previously found that 8-year-old Safi Rose Roussos' injuries were not survivable. Supporters of the Russian opposition activist Alexei Navalny say he's been denied access to a lawyer and food since his arrest on arrival back in Moscow yesterday. He was detained for missing parole hearings while receiving treatment in Germany for nerve agent poisoning. All UK travel corridors which allow people arriving to avoid having to quarantine have now closed. Travellers will now have to show proof of a negative COVID test within 3 days of departure and will then be required to isolate for up to 10 days. 4 more people connected to the Australian Open tennis tournament, including one player, have tested positive for coronavirus. There are now 9 confirmed cases among people who've arrived in Melbourne on a series of chartered flights. Shaima Khalil reports from Sydney.
At least 72 players have been confined entirely to their Melbourne hotel rooms after more people, including one player, have tested positive for COVID-19. Many have expressed their frustration, while others have posted videos of their improvised training routines, hitting balls against mattresses and windows. Several said they might not have come to Australia if the rules had been made clear to them. Victoria State Premier Daniel Andrews said there would be no special treatment for players and insisted the policies have been explained to them before they travelled.